Susan's dream involved kangaroos in business suits judging her hot flashes. She woke 3 a.m., Sydney's summer sticky as regret, clutching a cold mug like an anchor. 50 years old and suddenly her body had turned trader, sweats, mood swings, a brain fog thicker than Bondi Beach barbecue smoke. But those absurd kangaroos whispered a risky idea: dandelions. Not weeds. Medicine. Next morning, she signed up for a herbal tea workshop run by a no-nonsense Maori auntie who called menopause ultimate power-up. Susan woke with her sheets tangled like yesterday's regrets, that dream still nipping her, kangaroos in pinstripes giving her life choices a solid now from behind clipboards. Sydney's summer clung, thick as her 50-year-old thighs after a beach barbecue with fam. She eyed chipped mug on her dresser, its faded world's best mum decala relic from school craft days when her hands knew exactly what to do. Menopause had turned her body into a rogue weather system, hot flushes rolling in like unsolicited advice, moods shifting faster than Bondi's tides. Her deepest fear? Becoming one of those women who faded into background like a half-remembered jingle, all vibes and no verses. Enter Dandelion tea. A hesitance at first, bitter as a tax audit, but by week 3 something shifted. Mornings began with steadier hands, fewer rogue sweats sabotaging client meetings. She signed up for a herbal workshop community center, crushing petals between fingers, their velvet resistance reminding her of needing to back when her kitchen smelled like birthdays. By December, she hosted her own pop-up tea stall marina, serving courage in ceramic. That old mug now held pens by her laptop, its cracks gilded with use, proof that even broken things could hold new purpose. Susan laughed, stirring honey into a fresh brew. Kangaroos in suits could keep their clipboards. She was too busy rewriting script. She woke with kangaroo-suited judges still lingering in her mind, their briefcases full of hot flash citations. 50 felt like standing on Bondi Beach noon, exposed, shimmering, unsure whether to dive in or retreat. Herbal tea had been a half-hearted attempt serenity, but that morning, clutching a chipped mug painted with sun-faded violets, she decided serenity needed a proper eviction notice. Sydney's weekend markets buzzed with turmeric lattes and kombucha on tap, but a handwritten sign caught her eye: Herbal Allies, tea blending for transition years. Inside pop-up tent, a woman with silver braids and a grin wider than Harbour Bridge was demonstrating how dandelion root could outmaneuver bloating like a surfboard dodging waves. Creator hesitated. Wasn't dandelion just lawn litter, but her knees, currently staging a mutiny against her yoga pants, nudged her forward. Mentorship arrived in form of Nalini, braided guru, who tossed her a mortar and pestle like it was a lifeline. Crush rebellion into wisdom, she winked. Woman fumbled, sending dried hibiscus petals flying like confetti at beach barbecue. Group chuckled, no one minded. These women, teachers, artists, a retired cricket umpire, shared stories of sleepless nights and brain fog thicker than Vegemite, all while measuring chamomile with precision of bartenders. That mug of hers, once a passive vessel, became a compass. Each steep was a small act of defiance against myth that menopause meant fading. Weeks later, Creator hosted her own workshop in a borrowed community hall, serving dandelion chamomile blends in mismatched thrift store cups. A newcomer eyed brew skeptically. Tastes like earth, she muttered. Susan grinned. So do we, love. Laughter rolled through room, tides pulling out shame. By summer's end, her fam, a squad of women who traded embarrassment for espresso dandelion tonics, took over a corner of Manly Beach dawn, sipping from their mugs a sunrise-painted sky. Susan's knee still complained, but now she knew difference between surrender and strategy. Kangaroo judges. Last she dreamed, they traded suits for swim trunks, toasting her with golden teacups. Some rebellions, it turned out, were steeped in patience. Woman woke with kangaroo judges still haunting her, their briefcases full of unsolicited opinions on her hot flashes. 50 years old and sweating through pajamas like a Bondi lifeguard in January, this wasn't glow-up Sydney promised. She glared her favorite chipped mug, its cheerful sunflowers now mocking her. But she wasn't about to let menopause steamroll her like a runaway tram. She'd survived 3 kids, a divorce, and that one disastrous beach barbecue where her ex tried grilling tofu. If she could handle his culinary experiments, she could handle a few hormonal mutinies. Curiosity led her to a herbal tea workshop in Newtown, where a no-nonsense woman with purple hair handed her dandelion root like it was a secret weapon. Think of it as nature's middle finger to mood swings, she'd said. Creator scoffed but steeped it anyway, watching golden swirls dissolve into hope. First sip tasted like dirt and defiance. Second sip, like possibility. By week's end, that mug became her anchor, each gulp a stubborn push against fatigue's tide. She carried it to school pickups, Zoom meetings, even her book club where Margot insisted menopause was just a phase. Susan smirked, sipping loudly. Some phases deserved a parade. Mornings now began with ritual, not dread. She'd cradle warm ceramic between palms, watching dawn streak across harbor waves. No magic cure, but enough quiet rebellion in each cup to remind her this wasn't surrender. It was strategy. One evening, spotting surfers wipe out Manly, she laughed, not their spills, but their grit. Fam, new waves didn't stop just because you fell. Neither would she. Creator woke with kangaroos in business suits still lingering in her mind, their stern expressions replaced by something softer, approval, maybe. Or curiosity. She stretched, fingers brushing a chipped blue mug on her nightstand, its rim stained gold from last night's dandelion tea. 50 years old, and here she was, brewing weeds like some backyard alchemist. But damn if those hot flashes hadn't eased up. Sydney's summer sun blazed as she marched toward a community centre, mug clutched like a talisman. Inside, a dozen women fanned themselves, skeptics and seekers alike. A woman named Margot, sharp-eyed, arms crossed, snorted when Creator mentioned dandelions. Weeds don't fix hormones, love. Susan's pulse kicked. Gutsy move time. She plunked her mug on table, steam curling like a challenge. Bet your beach barbecue brisket recipe started as someone's wild idea too. She walked them through steeping petals, her voice gaining steam with each step. Margot sipped, eyebrows hiking toward her hairline. Then, plot twist, a teen in back filmed whole thing. By sundown, dandy menopause magic was trending. Susan's phone buzzed with messages, Granny swears you're a witch, good kind of fam, my joints feel 20 again. Laughter bubbled up as she realized this was her start. Not with a bang, but a brew. And that skeptic. Margot now ran a pop-up tea stall Bondi. Crowds roared her sign, dandelions, nature's middle finger to hot flashes. Susan grinned, lifting her mug to sky. Tiny victory, epic ripple. No helplessness here. Just a woman, a weed, and a whole lot of watch me. Susan's dream of kangaroos in business suits judging her spreadsheet skills faded as dawn crept over Sydney. That mug, chipped, sunflower yellow, now held more than dandelion tea. It cradled proof that hot flashes didn't own her. 50 looked good with fewer night sweats and more beach BBQs. She'd turned desperation into a herbal tea workshop after realizing menopause wasn't a solo rodeo. Strangers became fam over steaming cups, swapping stories like trading cards. Susan guided them, chuckling her own odd habit of naming plants after ex-bosses, that prickly rosemary. Definitely Kevin from accounting. Months later, her mug set center stage pop-up workshops in community centers, its once lonely rim now ringed with lipstick stains from women who'd found relief. Creativity built their tribe, one where hot flashes were met with laughter, not helplessness. Dandelion roots ran deep. So did their impact. Steep your rebellion. Sip it loud.